problem solving and programming using C class. Myself, I'm Shravani, Assistant Professor from the Department of CSC. Today, I'm going to cover your second part from your second unit. Basically, your second unit consisting of two modules. The first module corresponding to basics of C like C operators, data types, typecasting, right, operators and all will have as part of your first module in your second unit. Whereas coming to your second unit, second module, the second module consisting of your core topic of your C programming, which is without this you could not write any program, because as of computer science students, not only computer science, as of presently any BTech graduate is eligible to enter into a software industry, right? So in order to attain into software organization, you are supposed to be good in coding, right, in programming. So whatever may be the case study given to you, you need to implement your logic, right? So in order to implement your logic, this particular module is very, very helpful for implementing your logics, right? So please pay attention towards this lecture. Now let's go with our lecture, and today I'm going to cover the control structures. Basically these control structures I'm dividing into three lectures, right, because we'll have three types of control structures, and accordingly I have divided into three modules, right? So today we'll cover the part 1 session of your control structures. Basically, I'll be having selection statements, repetition statements and unconditional statements. And in today's lecture, I'm going to cover selection statements, right? So basically, we have these three types of control structures, not only in C programming. These are all quite common for every programming language. Please remember, right? Now, control statements in C. Basically, what is meant by control statement? So why we are writing this control statements or control structures, right? So a statement is a command. Generally what is meant by a statement, right? Here I have a control and here I have a statement, right? So what is meant by a statement? A statement is a command given to the computer that instructs the computer to take a specific action and display some result. So here the command or the statement is received by the computer and it is going to do some particular action according to the given input. So that is what basically a statement in C language. Okay, a statement, for example, displaying hello world is a statement, right? And reading an element from the user is a statement, and displaying a memory value to the computer is a statement, and processing the result and displaying the result is a statement, right? So these are all the statements. A computer program, basically a computer program consisting of some set of instructions to perform a specific task. That instructions I can also call it as a statement. Basically a computer program consisting of set of statements to perform a specific task. Now, what is meant by control statement? A control statement enables us to specify the flow of program control, that is in which order I have to execute the corresponding statements, in which order I have to perform the set of statements to get a result. So that order I am going to specify with the help of control statements. Not only the order, if you want to repeat some set of statements up to a particular instance, even for repetition also we will use this control statements. So here the order in which the instructions in a program must be executed, they make it possible to make decisions, that is either to go in this path or in this path. For example, let us consider I'm having I want to find out the biggest of two numbers. So for that I have two values called a comma b. So I have read a comma b, right? So after reading a comma b, here if I want to take a decision, right? So in order to take a decision which one is the biggest, I have to make a condition. I have to check for a condition called A greater than B. If A is greater than B, I can display that, I can print A. Why? Because here A is the biggest value. Right? So here I am making a decision basing on this condition. I am making a decision basing on this condition called A greater than B. If A greater than B is evaluating into false, what it mean? The B is the biggest one. So here I am printing the B value. Right? So this is how I am making the decisions. So this decision making is also the part of control structures. And not only decision making, here we can also repeat some set of statements as I said earlier. So here to perform the task repeatedly and also jump from one section to another section. For example, I am executing some set of statements and in between I want to go to this place. So even I can jump from this place to this place by using control statements. So that is how the importance of your control statements. So what we can summarize, so by using control statements I can write decision making statements, I can write repetition statements, I can write jumping statements. To jump from one block of statements to another block of statements, I can write with the help of control structures. That is a basic use of your control structures. Now let's move to the classification of control structures or types of control structures we have. Right? This is a classification or types of control structures. Basically the control structures are of two types, conditional and unconditional. Conditional means here we are giving some condition. As part of those statements. Okay, we are giving some here we have basically two categories. One is conditional and another one is unconditional. So conditional means we are giving some condition like A greater than B or B greater than C. Likewise we are giving some condition as part of those statements, right? Whereas unconditional, here we will not give any conditions, but we can make some, we can move from one place to another place or we can jump from one place to another place without giving any condition. So that is about your unconditional. Now coming to conditional, here we have two types. One is a selection or branching and the other one is iteration. Iteration or repetitive or loops, both are same, and selection or branching or decision making statements, both are same. So here selection or decision making statements, both are same. Iteration or loops or repetitive statements, both are same. And under selection statements we have four categories: simple if statement, if else statement, else if later statement, and a switch case. Right? These are the four categories we have under selection statement. Now under iteration statement or loops we'll have three types: while, for, and do while loops, and we will see in detail now. Now coming to unconditional, or under unconditional we have break statement, continue, and go to and return statement. Now let's see each and every one in detail, and in present my class I'm going to cover only this part, that is selection statements. Okay, in present my lecture I'm going to cover only this selection or decision making or branching statements, which are nothing but these four statements I'm going to cover in present lecture. Now, so in order to write a selection statement or a iteration statement, we must specify a condition. Right? So here a test condition is used for selection and iteration is expressed as a test expression. Right? So the condition, if the condition is evaluates into true, then only I am entering into the corresponding block of statements. Otherwise I will not enter into the corresponding statements. So if the condition is evaluates into true, then only I am going to enter. And here the condition is evaluating into true, right? That is given with a value called 1. If the condition is evaluates to false, that is given with a value called 0. Right? For example, without giving condition, if you are specifying 1, then also it will executes, because it will takes this 1 as a true. right? And it will execute the corresponding statements. Now, when a non-zero value is supplied for a condition, it is considered as true. When a non-zero value, if it is a 0 means it is false. When it is a non-zero value, it is true. Now, when a 0 value is supplied, then it is considered as false. Now, let's move to selection or branching statements, right? So, under that, we have 4 categories, or we have 4 types. One is simple if, another one is if else, another one is else if later, and the other one is switch. So now let's see the first one, which is simple if statement. Right, simple if. Why the simple if is used? It is used for flow of execution of statements, right? A simple if condition, that is, if the condition is evaluates into true, then only it will enters into the if block. Otherwise, it will not enters into the if block. It will come out of the if block, and what are all the statements after the if block will be executed. Now, I'm saying block. What is meant by block? Set of statements which are written within a curly braces are known as block. Right? Now, it is basically a one-way decision statement and is used in conjunction with an expression. Okay, for example, if you want to specify more than one condition also you can specify. Now, basically this condition expression you can write with the help of relational operators. You can with the help of relational operators. Whereas, okay, if you want to write 2 expressions, then you can combine with them with the help of logical operators. For example, as you already know the relational operators, right? For example, A greater than B. This is a single expression which have only one relational operator. Whereas I want to check one more condition along with that. For example, B is less than or equal to C, right? So both the conditions I want to check. Okay, both the conditions must be evaluated to true. So in that case, I will use a logical operator called logical AND. So that if both the conditions are evaluated to true, then only I am entering within the block, right? So with the help of relational operators and logical operators, I am going to write the expression or condition. Now, this is a syntax for if block. This is a syntax for if block. That is, if test expression within braces, statement block of statements, and then statement X. So here, if the test expression is evaluates to true, then only the block of statements will be executed. If this test expression is evaluates to false, so in that case this statement X will be executed. Okay, this block of statements will not be executed, so immediately it will execute the statement X, right? So this I want to showcase you with the help of flowchart, right? So this is a flowchart for simple if statement. So if the test expression is evaluates to true, then the block of statements will be executed. Now, after the execution of all the block of statements, the statement X will be executed. For suppose if the test is evaluates to false, then it will not execute the statement. Simply the control comes to statement X, right? If the condition is evaluates to false, then it will not execute any of the statements within the if block. Simply the control comes to the out of the if block, then whatever the statements are there after the if block, those will be executed. This is about your simple if statement syntax and flowchart. Now let's see a sample program on simple if block. Now write a C program to check whether the given number is positive or negative. So how can I check whether a number is positive or negative? How can I check whether the given number is a positive or negative? So if I am having, okay, if the given number is greater than 0, then I can say that that is a positive number. If the given number is less than 0, I can say that that is a negative number, right? If the given number is greater than 0, then I can say that it is a positive number. If the given number is less than 0, then I can say that it is a negative number. Now let's write the program, right, using C language. So as you already know that here I have to include the preprocessor directives. So here I am including stdio.h. Why I am including stdio.h? Because here I am using printf and scanf statements within my program to read and write the instructions. So that's why I am including stdio.h header file. Now main, and from the main program only my program execution begins. That's why I'm writing int main, right? So in between that I have to write the corresponding statements, right? So here I need to read a number, so int n stands for the number which I am reading, right? So now here printf enter a number, printf enter a number. So here I am writing a message to the console with the help of printf statement. Now scanf %d stands for integers format specifier and address of n. So here whatever the value specified in the console, that will be read and that will be stored in the memory which is allocated for this n by using this address of operator. So finally this scanf will read the n value and it will puts into the memory, right? So now after that, if n is greater than 0, okay, I will write even equal to 0 also condition. So let us take 0 is also positive, right? So if n is greater than or equal to 0, what it mean here? Printf, okay, printf %d is positive, okay, and this %d corresponds to n. Now if this condition is evaluates to false, what it mean? The given number is a negative number. So simply I'll write printf %d is negative, right? Is it clear everyone? Now here as I have int over here I have to write return 0 because the current compilers will not take if at all if I don't have this return statement, right? As here I have specified int, here I have to write return 0. If I specified a void main, no need of writing any return statement, right? This is about your program for knowing or for checking whether the given number is positive or negative. Simply I am reading a number and after that I am checking with condition called n greater than or equal to 0. If this condition evaluates to true, then I am writing positive, and if this condition is not evaluates to true, what it mean? Here the given number is a negative number. Simply we will write that, right? Is it clear? Fine. Let's have the corresponding thing. Now here whether the given number is positive or negative, right? So here I am writing that here if the number is greater than 0, simply I am writing the positive number, otherwise I will not write anything, right? So for example, enter a number, 9 is a positive number, likewise I will get the output. Now under selection or branching statements, right, before moving to the next concept, let's compile this program or let's run this program in the IDE. Okay, now let's see the execution part of your simple if statement. So here I am writing you the same program which I already explained you, that is whether the given number is a positive or negative, right? So here I have used one more IDE which is programmist.com. You can find it in the online, right? So here I am writing the same program which is hash include stdio.h. Here I am reading the number, printf enter a number, right? So here this is used for displaying the message in the console, and after that I am reading the given number by using scanf function, and after that here I am checking with the condition. If the number is greater than 0, simply I am printing a message called given number is positive, right? So here this is a program, right? Now we'll see the output. Here I am just clicking on the run button, then enter a number. So let us write 56, enter number 56. So press enter, then 56 is positive. So likewise I am getting the corresponding output. okay, is positive, like this number is positive, likewise I'm getting the corresponding result. Now let's go with the next statement under branching, which is if else statement. So now let's have the second statement under your branching statements, right? So your second statement is corresponding to if else. So if else means here, if the given condition is evaluates to true, then the if block will be executed. If the condition is evaluates to false, then the else block will be executed, right? Now here is a syntax for your if else statement. Okay, so if the test expression is evaluates to true, if the test expression is evaluates to true, then the statement block 1 will be executed. If this evaluates to false, if this evaluates to false, if the statement is evaluates to false, then the else block will be executed. Now if this block is executed, then immediately, if the statement block 1 is executed, let us consider, then immediately the control will comes to statement X. Otherwise, if this test expression is evaluates to false and else block is executed, and after that also the control will comes to statement X. So now let's see the flow of control, how it is for with the help of flowchart. So if the test expression is evaluates to true, then the statement block 1 will be executed. If the test expression is evaluates to false, then the statement block 2 will be executed. Now here, after executing any of the block, the statement X will be executed. This is what we have shown in the corresponding flowchart. Right? Now let's see a sample program on if else. Write a C program to check whether the given number is even or odd. So how can I check whether the given number is even or odd? If the remainder is 0, I can see that the given number is even. If the remainder is not equal to 0, if I'm dividing with 2, then I can say that the given number is a odd number, right? For example, let us take 16. Okay, so when I am dividing with 2, what happens to 8 is 16 and the remainder is 0, right? For suppose if I am taking 75, right? 75 I am dividing with 2, right? So 2 3s are 6 and then 1 15, right? And then 2 7s are 14 and then 1. So here is a remainder 1 if the given number is odd, right? Whereas if the given number is even, I'll have the remainder as 0. So this is a basic fundamental principle to check whether the given number is even or odd. So here to find this reminder, I'm having one operator in C language, which is percentile, right? If I want this coefficient, I have to use an operator called divided, right? Division operator. Whereas if I want this remainder, I have to use percentile operator. For example, number percentile, given number percentile 2 is equal to 0, then I can say that the given number is even. If this number percentile 2 is not equal to 0, then I can say that the given number is odd. Right? This is how I will check whether the given number is even or odd. So now let's write the program for this particular instance, that is for this particular program, that is whether the given number is even or odd, by using if else statement. So hash include stdio.h, as you already aware about this. So int main, right? So to check whether the given number is even or odd, right? So here I should have a number, int number, and after declaration of number, then immediately what I'm supposed to do, read the number, nothing but printf enter a number. This is used for displaying the message in the console, and then scanf percentile deep address of number, nothing but I'll read the number. So after reading the number, I need to check with the condition, that is if number percentile 2 is equal to 0. Here double equal to symbol I have used for what? to check the condition. Single equal to means assigning the value, double equal to means to check whether the to check whether the equal or not, whether they are equal or not. To check the equality, I will use double equal to operator, whereas single equal to operator is for assignment. Right? If number percentile 2 is equal to 0, what I can write? Printf, the corresponding number is even, right? Nothing but number, right? If not, else. Else means I have to write a statement called per number is odd, right? Directly I'm writing number is odd. Okay, and then return 0, right? This is how I have to write the program for your checking whether the given number is even or odd. So here initially I am reading the corresponding number, and after that I am checking with the condition if number percentile 2 is equal to 0. Nothing but if this condition is evaluates to true, I can say that the given number is even. So I am simply displaying the message. Else means I am simply displaying a message called the given number is odd. Right? This is a sample program. So shall we execute this program on the IDE? Yes, we can. Right? So before going to that, here I am showing you the program also. So this is a entire program for your to check whether the given number is even or odd. Now if I am executing this, I will be getting the output like this. This is a sample output I am showing you. Enter a number, so that if I had given the 8, then I will be getting a message called 8 is an even number. Right? Now let's execute the same program on the IDE, and now let's see the results. Right? Now let's see the execution part for your to check whether the given number is even or odd. Right? So now here I have written the program, right? Hash include stdio.h and then int main, and then here I am giving a message on the console called enter a number, and then I am reading the number by using scanf statement. And here if number percentile 2 is equal to 0, here I am checking with the condition, that is if the number percentile 2 is equal to 0 evaluates to true, then simply I am writing a message called is an even number. Otherwise else I am writing a message called is an odd number. Right? Now let's run this program. Run. So enter a number. So let's now let's enter a number like 87. Right? So now I am getting a message called 87 is an odd number. Right? So here this is how we need to execute the programs. I think now you have a clear-cut picture on if else statement. Right? Now let's move to the next one, which is else if ladder. Now let's have the next statement under selection statements, which is nested if else statement or else if ladder. Both are same. Now here when a series of decisions are involved, when a series of decisions and when a series of if else statements are involved, in that case I have to use this particular statement. Now let's have the syntax. If the test expression 1 evaluates to true, then it will enters into another if block, and again if this test expression 2 is evaluates to true, then it will enters into this block and it will execute the statements. For example, if this text expression 2 is evaluates to false means simply it will come out of the if block and it will execute this else block. Understood? So if suppose if this test expression 1 itself is evaluates to false, then it will not execute all, it will simply come out of this if block. Right? So if the expression 1 is evaluates to true, then it will come inside to the if statement, and again it will check the expression 2. If this evaluates to true, then the statement 1 will be executed. Otherwise, if this expression is evaluates to false, so in that case it will execute this else part. So that is how the execution done for this particular statement. Now let's have the flow chart for this. Okay, and if this particular test expression 1 is evaluates to false, then after that I had one more else statement, that is else statement 3 and statement x. So this statement 3 will be executed if this test expression is evaluates to false. This is the outer if and this is the inner if. Now the test expression 1 is evaluates to true. Let us consider Now let us consider this test expression 1 is evaluates to true. Now if this evaluates to true, then simply it will enters into inner if. Okay, this is your inner if statement. This is your inner if. Okay, and this is your outer if. Right? So now simply it will enters into inner if statement, and this will checks for this test expression 2. Now if this test expression 2 is evaluates to true, then the statement will be executed. Otherwise if this is false, then the statement 2 will be executed. Now for suppose if this test expression, the given expression, the outer if loop expression itself, it is a false one, then simply it will execute the statement within the else block, which is statement 3 will be executed. Now if at all if any of the statement is finished, then simply it will comes to statement X. This is how the nested if else or else if ladder will be executed. Okay, now this is a sample program for finding the largest of three numbers. So here I have declared initially the first statement corresponding to int a comma b comma c, int a comma b comma c, right? So here, which means that here I have allocated memory for A, and I have allocated memory for B, and I have allocated memory for C. So since I have not initialized any of the values for A, B, C, so here they will be initialized with some garbage values. Now here I have a message called printf enter a comma b comma c values. So in the output console I'll be getting a message called here I'm writing the output here, enter a comma b comma c values, right? So let us consider here I'm giving the values like this 50, 40 and 30, right? So 50, 40, 30 I have given the values like this, right? Now I have pressed the enter. Now what happens? Simply this 50 will be initialized to A, and 40 will be initialized to B, and 30 will be initialized to C. So now I'll go with the next statement. If A greater than B, right? So here 50 is greater than 40. Yes, the condition is evaluates to true, right? Now again I'm checking with one more condition, which is if A greater than C. If A greater than C, what is that? 50 is greater than 30. Yes, both the conditions are evaluates to true. So simply what is the message? Printf percentile d is big comma A. So simply I'll be getting a message called 50 is the big. 50 is the big. Understood? So for suppose if this condition is evaluates to false, what it mean? C is the biggest value. So I'll be getting a message called C is big, right? Otherwise if not means I'll be writing a message called B is big. So even there is continuation to this program. I'll show you next. Okay, so here if A greater than B, here 50, since 50 is greater than 40, so I am entering into the inside if. So if 50 is greater than 30, yes, 50 is greater than 30, even this condition is also evaluates to true. So then I am printing the A value, which is the biggest value, which is the 50, right? So now 50 is a big will be displayed on the console. Now this is a continuation to your program, that is if A greater than B condition is failed, so which means that I am moving into the else block. So here if B is greater than C, then simply I am writing a message called B is big, otherwise C is the biggest value, right? So this is a program. Now here the sample output also I am showing you, enter A comma B comma C values. So here 8, 15, 20, likewise I had given the 3 values, then I am getting a message called 20 is big. Now let's have another one, which is multi-branching statements, right? Multi-branching means here if there are some situations may arise like more than 2 possible paths for the program flow. There are more than 2 possible paths for the program flow. So here I'll be having 2 categories. One is else if and the other one is switch. So here I'll be having else if ladder. Previously you have seen nested if else, right? Previously you have seen nested if else, which means that if within the if block, right? If block within another if block is known as your nested if else, right? So here I am showing you another one, which is else if ladder and switch. So here under multi-way branching we are going to cover these 2 things, which is else if ladder and switch. So now let's see the first one, which is if else if ladder or else if ladder statement. So here by using this, okay, this is a multi-way selection statement that is used to test multiple conditions, right? So now let's have the syntax of else if ladder, right? If the test expression 1 is evaluates to true, then simply the block 1 statement will be executed. If this expression is evaluates to false, I am going to this place, that is else if test expression 2, and then these statements will be executed. If at all, if this is also evaluates to false, again else if the corresponding, else if the corresponding. So likewise, I'm else if I'm testing n expressions, and after that else, final else default statements, right? Now our task is very simplified now, right? So now corresponding to the flow chart, okay, this is our flow chart corresponding to your else if ladder. So here, if this test expression 1 is evaluates to true, then the statement block 1 will be executed, and again it will comes to the statement x. If it is false, I'm checking with one more condition called 2, and then if this is true, then the statement block 2 will be executed. If this is false, again I'm checking with one more condition. If this is false, again I'm checking with one more condition. Likewise, I'm checking for n conditions, and each block I'm going to execute. Now if for suppose in the last case, even nth expression I have checked, even in that case also I'm getting the false, so in that case the default statements will be executed, whatever I have written in the last else block, right? Now let's consider, okay, let's have the program on else if ladder. So here I want to write a program to showcase or to display the grade of the student, and that grade I'm going to give with the help of this table. That is, if his or her percentage is greater than or equal to 70, then I am writing it as a distinction. If he or she is getting 60, in between 69 to 60, then he is getting a grade A, and 59 to 50 means he is getting B grade, and 49 to 40 means he is getting C grade, and less than 40 means he is failed. So likewise, I want to display the corresponding grade of a student. Now let's write the program for this by using else if ladder. So here I'm not writing the entire program, but I'm giving you the logic. So after that I'll show you the program, right? So here I want to display the student grades, right? So for that, initially I have to read the corresponding marks from the user, right? So let us write read M1, M2, M3, M4. Let us consider I have 4 subjects in my semester, right? So after reading the marks, so what is the immediate step? I have to find the percentage. So how to find the percentage? Percentage I can find by means of M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4, which is my sum, right? Whole by 400, because 4 subjects. Okay, let us consider 400 is the maximum total, and into 100 will gives you the corresponding percentage. Now if the percentage is greater than or equal to 70, then what it mean? If percentage is greater than or equal to 70, what it mean? Printf distinction, right? Else if percentage is less than 69 and percentage is greater than or equal to 60. Okay, less than or equal to 69 and percentage is greater than or equal to 60, then I can give a message called printf grade A. Right? So likewise, I need to write the remaining else if statements, and finally in the final else I'll be getting a message called fail. So likewise, I have to rewrite the program by using else if ladder. Now let's have the whole program now. This is your whole program. So here int main, int m1, m2, m3, m4, m5 total, right? So here m1 to m5 are used for storing the marks of subjects, right? And total is used for storing the sum of marks, right? Now float percentiles, so this is used for storing the percentage of student, percentage of student. Now here I'm giving a message called printf enter the marks, so in the output console I'll be getting a message called enter marks, right? So now let us read scanf percentile d. Here I'll be having 5 percentile d's. Why? Because I have to read 5 marks at a time, right? So here I'm reading the all the 5 subjects marks. So let us consider here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, likewise I had given the marks. Now after that the total is equal to m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4 plus m5. Nothing but I'm summing all the marks. Now percentage, what is the percentage value? Total by 500 into 100. Now if the percentage is greater than or equal to 70, what it mean? Here I am displaying the message called distinction, right? If the percentage is greater than or equal to 70, he made a distinction. Now else if the percentage is greater than or equal to 60 and less than or equal to 69, then here I have used and, logical and symbol. Why? Because I am checking both the conditions. If both the conditions are evaluated to true, then only this statement will be executed, that is grade A. Because here inclusive, both 69 and 60 both are inclusive, and even 59 and 50 both are inclusive, please remember, right? Now continuation to this, here else if the remaining percentage is greater than or equal to 50 and less than or equal to 59, then it is grade B, and greater than or equal to 40 and less than or equal to 49, then grade C. Otherwise else I'm getting a message called printf fail. So this is how I need to write the program for printing the grade of a student, right? Now this is a sample output I'm showing you. Here enter marks, so here I had given all the marks. So here I'm getting a message called distinction, and please remember here distinction is given here by not checking by individual marks. Here I'm checking the percentage of the student, because here madam, you might ask me like 58 is a subject mark, how can you given the distinction? Here the distinction I'm giving you with the help of percentage, please remember, right? Now another statement under multi-way branching, which is switch case. Now let's have the switch case statement, right? So now a switch statement is also a multi-way decision making statement, as a simplified version of if-else-if block statement that evaluates a single variable. That is, if you want to execute only a single statement, right? For example, I'm having multiple paths, but out of multiple paths I want to choose only a single path. Although I have multiple paths, from the multiple paths if I want to choose only a single path, then I have to go with switch statement, right? So for example, this is a syntax for your switch case, which is switch variable. So here the switch variable will be having, and here case constant one, statements and break. So here if this variable or expression, for suppose if this variable or expression is evaluated into some value, now that value I'm going to compare with this case constants, right? So whatever may be the value, for example I'm getting the variable value as 2, right? Here case constant 1, constant 2, constant 3, likewise I am having all the cases, right? So if this variable is evaluates to true, then immediately it will goes to the case constant 2. So then it will execute only these statements, not all the statements. It will execute only the case 2 statements. Remaining statements it will ignore. Now after the execution of case 2 statements, here I have a statement called break. Break statement is used for coming out of the current loop or current block of statements, coming out of the current block of the statement. So since I have break statement, so the control will comes to the end of the switch block, right? So here by using this variable, so if as the variable is evaluated to true, it will goes to the case 2 and it will execute the case 2 statements. And since I have a break statement over here, it will come out of this switch case, right? So this is how the switch case will be executed. Now let's have the flowchart for the switch case. This is a flow chart. Here expression case constant 1, constant 2, constant 3. So likewise I'll be having case constant n. So if this if this expression is evaluates to 1, then this case statement 1 will be executed and immediately will control comes to the statement x. For suppose this expression is does not match with any of the cases. If the expression does not match with any of the cases, so in that case it will execute the default statement. So here under default I have one more called default statement, right? So this default statement will be executed if any of the case has been not if any of the case is not does not matching. So in that case it will execute the default statement. Now let's have a program on switch case. So here is a sample program which demonstrates your switch case, right? So for example, here enter any value. So here I am writing the output, right? Enter any value. So let us write, I have given 2, right? Now x has 2, right? Switch has 2 now. Now what happened? It will immediately goes to case 2. So what I have case 2 under printf yzag. So yzag will be printed. Now after yzag, right, after yzag, so here I have one more one. What is the statement? Printf Hyderabad. So even that Hyderabad will also be printed. Okay, now after this I have a break statement. So now the control comes to the out of switch block. Now after that return 0. So here I am getting both Vizag, Hyderabad. Why? Because I don't have a break statement over here. If I had a break statement here, then the control will comes to the end of your switch block. As since the break statement is not there after case 1 and case 2, I have this type of output. Is it clear everyone? This is about your switch statement. Now if at all if does not matches with anyone, here if I have a default statement, that default statement will be executed. Simple output. So here since I don't have any break statement after case 1, here I had given you the input as 1. Here I am getting all the 3 printf statements. Now coming to the summary. So today we have seen our control statements or control structures. Both are same. Control structures in C or control statements or statements in C, both are same. So today we have seen our control statements in C language, and under that we have seen what is meant by control statements. Basically the control statements are used for specifying the decision making statements and repetitive statements and jumping from one block to another block of statements. And here basically we have 3 categories. One is selection, and the other one is repetition, and the other one is unconditional. And today we have seen selection statements. Under selection we have normal selection statements and multi-way selection statements, selection or branching statements and multi-way selection statements. And under selection we have seen simple if else, nested if else. And under multi-way we have seen else if later and also switch case, right? For all these we have seen the syntaxes, flowcharts, and also the example programs, right? Now, and this is an assignment, a small assignment, my dear students. Please try to write the programs on this, which are write a C program to read the month number and display the corresponding month. So here this you can achieve if you are using a switch case statement. Now write a C program to find the roots of a quadratic equation by using if else condition. Nothing but to find the roots of a quadratic equation, I need to find the d value. What is the d value? D is nothing but b square minus 4ac. If b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, what I can say that the roots are real. The roots are real and equal, right? If b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, greater than 0 means what it means? The roots are real and unequal. And if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, what it means? The roots are negative, right? Roots are imaginary. We can say that roots are imaginary. So likewise I need to write with the help of if else statement. Now write a C program to check whether the given character is a vowel or not. So for that you can go with if or else case. Instead of switch case you can go with if else. Okay, if the character given ch is equal to a logical, or if the given ch is equal to ch is equal to e, for suppose here I can write like this, ch is equal to A logical OR, CH is equal to E logical R. Likewise A E I O U with all the small letters and even the capital letters. If you are giving the combination, then I can say that the given letter is a vowel. So likewise you can check it, right? So these three are the assignments, so try to do that. Thank you. Thanks for listening to me. And in my next session, I'm going to cover repetitive statements or loops. Under that, we will be having for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So try to listen the next part also. Okay, be happy, stay healthy.